Dishonored 2 is like stage 4 colon cancer.
What?
Dishonored 2 is like stage 4 colon cancer. You don't know how good you have it until...
What?
Dishonored 2 is like stage 4 colon cancer. You don't know how good you have it until you get your head out of your ass. Yeah, for those who don't know, Dishonored 2 has something of a sour reputation, which is pretty unfair. I mean that merit-wise. The game got its bad rep because at launch it ran like it forgot its running shoes that morning, so it figured shoving its feet into two porcupine assholes would suffice. That shit tends to ruin first impressions. Also released during 2016, now known as the greatest year in human history, with games like Overwatch, Uncharted 4, and Battlefield 1 all releasing in quick succession. The only way Arkane could have had worse timing is if they made jokes about Plague in 2019. Anyway, speaking of Plague, we've got Dishonored 2. It's worth noting that Dishonored 2 might be one of the greatest sequels ever made, and it's kind of a masterpiece. And I'm not joking, I'm not joshing, I'm not capping, I'm not kecking, I'm fucking serious. First off, the graphics have evolved from the stylized oil painting look they had previously into this organic, realist looking style. That's so much more detailed, but just as fantastic. And the gameplay is just as improved. You can now do combat knockouts and have a shit ton more gadgets for lethal and non-lethal play, which further blurs the line between stealth and action gameplay. It cannot be overstated how much they've improved the gameplay. This combat is so fluid they should be using it to lubricate race cars. This is one of those games, like Mario 64 or Titanfall 2, where they must have had the QA testers chained up in their basements running through these levels hundreds of times to achieve this level of complexity and rigidity. And this level design is just orgasmic, and I mean the prostate kind, so you know I ain't fucking around with that compliment. Apparently they had architects and shit working through these levels, and it shows. These environments are juiced to the tits with storytelling and life, and yet they function so perfectly. Such a well-oiled machine that just makes everything you could possibly do in this game feel like an absolute dream. This game has so much atmosphere it could colonize Mars. It takes place in the tropical Karnataka as opposed to Dunwall, and by God did they not hold back. You can practically feel the humid air on the back of your skin while you walk these streets. So well articulated, you could just about smell them. You get so immersed, you think for a second you might have actually gotten bit by a bloodfly and are currently dying from a tropical disease. But then you snap back to reality and realize you missed your insulin shot. That one's a personal anecdote. Okay, so that's a whole lot of dick sucking and ball squeezing and ass fingering and smegma sucking. So what's the catch, you're probably asking. Well, my disgusting friend, I just wanted to emphasize how high this game's highs are. But the lows, well... The first bizarro choice is that they have you choose between Corvo and Emily, now all grown up. It's kind of a neat way to have to choose between Corvo's old powers and Emily's brand new ones. But holy shit, Corvo just does not work as this game's protagonist at all. Every antagonist in the game has some sort of grudge against Emily. So having Corvo be the guy that shows up to the party is like those San Andreas mods, where Big Smoke tells you gotta fuck up the ballas, but you're playing as Buzz Lightyear. Corvo just completely stands out like a Wiggles concert during the fall of Saigon. Okay, that sucks. But now Corvo and Emily are voiced and actually have characters, so it's all good on that end, right? No! I don't even know how it's possible, but both protagonists are just such a downgrade from doubt, it's crazy. They just narrate what's going on or give some empty platitude about something related to what they're doing. I think there's a difference in how they act depending on your chaos level, but it's just surface level edge. Like those cringe videos of 14-year-olds pretending to have split personality disorder or something. And the worst part is how you can interact with some things in the environment, but they have absolutely nothing interesting to say.
There are such strange and wonderful things living down in the deep.
Why even put this in? And then Jesus Christ, the story. Now, I don't want to get political, but this game has some fucked and half-assed themes they attempted. So in the first game, the whole thing was that you didn't want Emily turning out like an asshole, so you stopped stabbing people and eating rats off the floor, and she can grow up to be wise and fair. Already a contradiction, since she's royalty, and we know from real life royalty that they're not good for anything, other than showing us why humans shouldn't live past 80, and also getting impaled on steering columns. Well, whatever. The issue is that this game, which explicitly takes place after the good ending of Dishonored 1, still has Emily being incompetent and fucking up. She's too busy getting that they-them Wyman pussy to be an effective ruler, so the entire Empire of the Isles is a complete shit show. So Emily's whole arc is understanding how to not suck complete ass and change things for the better, right? But then all she does to make things better is replace some asshole rulers with some people marginally better. She doesn't change the actual systems of government that allow that tyranny to rule in any way, so there's nothing stopping things from just remaining the same or getting worse. So Dishonored 2 is ultimately about some bougie bitch getting the post for some completely legitimate reasons and going out of her way to ensure the status quo remains the exact same with minimal changes whatsoever. What the fuck? In Dishonored 1, Corvo got tortured and sentenced to death. Meanwhile, the only bad thing that happens to Emily is that she has to get off her bony ass for 5 seconds. Come on, Corvo, how did you let Emily turn out so goddamn spoiled? Pull out the belt every now and again, god motherfucking damn, dude. So Dishonored 2 is in a weird place. It does so many things better than the first game, but Jesus Christ does have some severe issues. Oh yeah, there was also the expansion Death of the Outsider. What to say about that other than I like Billy better than Corvo and Emily, but she kinda suffers from boring hoe syndrome like those two. No mana restrictions but less powers. Gee, where did I hear that one before? What really stood out to me was that the level design is still top tier. You investigate this cult and I absolutely adore this mysterious vibe they give off. Pretty sweet. But other than that, it's more of the same. And unfortunately, that's for better and most especially for worse. Alright, time to upload. Oh shit. I know, I'll just beg all my subscribers for money. Fuck. I have to get a job.